my name is Alexia Grego, and this is my Cultivating Relationships Showcase project. The one I wanted to focus on today was creating an online handout of community resources for families, guardians, and parents and students. So I decided to create a online handout in case they needed community resources from education to family support to health services and nutrition. So the first ones we have are education resources. I decided to add the public library as I know that they have some programs with reading, summer programs, pretty much anything. Another one I wanted to add was the University of Arizona, as there is a local mag farm. It's a great way to get the students included into the community and they get to learn a lot. I know some of the schools here use it as a field trip. Another one I wanted to add was family support resources. We don't have them here, so I have some that are in a local town nearby. I also added health services, some that are local here, and then nutrition, as we have a pantry and we have WIC here. So for my reflection, when I created the online handout, I wanted parents and families and guardians to be informed of local resources that are valuable and accessible to them. When they are supported, it can benefit the students with their physical, mental, and emotional health. It has a lot of academic outcomes too. They are also informed of educational resources, so the students may feel more empowered when they learn a lot from the educational resources. I'd also ask family for feedback. I know some resources, it can be a hit or a miss. There are some pros and cons depending on the person, but I'd love to have their feedback so I know if they're helpful or if I can change any of them. So the relationships, when I created the handout, it was like I was a connection between the community and the families as the educator. I'm able to connect them to resources provided from the school and in the community, so families know that they have lots of options. I also saw in the district website that they have more resources, so a lot of families can go on there too. I know there was some on LGBTQ+, counseling, I think vet support, and a bunch more. I would love to do some handouts for all of them, but I wanted to focus on some that I know would be more for the students at the moment, so maybe I'll add more later on in the school year or when I create some. It also shows family that myself and the school deeply care about the families and students' need apart from academically. In my personal perspective, doing this activity, it shows me that we care a lot about the students' health. We become very involved in our students' life throughout the school year as we are with them basically like half of the week. So doing an online handout can help out families. For the school message, it shows that we don't really care about grades, but more about the family and the students' well-being. A quote that I picked from one of the articles was, "Over my 20 years in the classroom, students have shared many things with me that have helped me relate to them better, become a better teacher, and create a safer classroom environment." With this quote, I really want students to know that they are important to me and they are able to come with me with anything, and myself and the school can find ways to support them or their families in an appropriate manner. Having these resources can play a critical part in ensuring families that they are supported beyond the school and can remove barriers such as limited access to healthcare and food insecurity. So also with this activity, some changes I'd like to do is I'd like to make translated versions for all families. I know that for myself, my mom only spoke Spanish, and she was mainly the one there as my dad was always working, so having a translated version always helped out. I know for like younger students, sometimes they have to translate and it can be really hard, especially with these kinds of resources. So one thing I also want to make sure is that with those resources there are different languages provided. I can also change the resources every year and be up to date, along with contact information if there are hours and set days with the resources. I'd also want to make it on paper for those who need it on hand. One thing I would like to do as well is to be in contact with those resources. I want to make sure that they are valuable and accessible for all of the students. I want to make sure that students are getting all the needs and those resources are providing and meeting those needs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.